Foreign Ministry spokesman Lu Kang says China also opposes using the so-called humanitarian aid to serve political ends and stir up instability and even turmoil in Venezuela and its neighborhood, which is not in the interests of any party. He said in a statement Monday that China urges both the ruling and opposition parties to seek solutions through dialogue within the framework of the constitution and laws, and calls on the international community to do things that are truly conducive to the country's stability, economic development, and the improvement of its people's livelihood while respecting Venezuela's sovereignty. The UN's High Commissioner for Human Rights is condemning violence at points on the Venezuelan border where opposition figures have been trying to bring in aid shipments. Former Chilean President Michelle Bachelet focused her criticism on excessive use of force used by the Venezuelan security forces, as well the involvement of pro-government groups. She said Sunday that has led to at least 4 confirmed deaths and more than 300 injuries over the previous 2 days. She said, the Venezuelan government must stop its forces from using excessive force against unarmed protesters and ordinary citizens. Socialist President Nicolas Maduro is using his troops to block shipments of aid that are meant to undermine his authority and bolster that of opposition leader Juan Guaido. Bachelet urged Maduro's government to rein in pro-government groups reportedly using force against protesters. She said, the use of proxy forces has a long and sinister history in the region, and added, it is very alarming to see them operating openly in this way in Venezuela. Renewed clashes have broken out between protesters and Venezuelan National Guardsmen at the border with Brazil. Dozens of Venezuelans who had come to the Brazilian border city of Pacaraima began throwing rocks across the closed border at Venezuelan troops, who responded with tear gas and buckshot. Local officials say dozens of people were injured in more violent clashes on Saturday as Venezuelan forces blocked aid shipments from crossing the border. Brazilian Navy Colonel Jorge Fares Cannon is coordinating humanitarian logistics in Roraima state, and he says 2 Venezuelan National Guard sergeants sought refuge in Brazil on Saturday, abandoning President Nicolas Maduro's forces. Officials in the Brazilian border state of Roraima say they've treated 22 Venezuelans who suffered bullet or buckshot wounds during a confrontation over aid shipments. A spokesman for Governor Antonio Dinarium says 18 of those required surgery. And he says dozens of other Venezuelans are being treated for other injuries suffered in Saturday's clashes at the border city of Santa Elena. Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro is blocking aid shipments organized by the opposition that are meant to undermine his rule. The border was closed for a 3rd straight day on Sunday. Venezuelan migrants are helping clean debris from a bridge where troops loyal to President Nicolas Maduro earlier fired tear gas on activists trying to deliver humanitarian aid in violent clashes that left 2 people dead and some 300 injured. Colombian President Iván Duque has reinforced security around 2 international bridges near the city of Cúcuta and ordered them closed for 48 hours to allow for the cleanup effort.